Take it from me, an old soldier. Don't let your security clearance lapse. Do whatever you need to do in order to maintain it so that you can get the position and the pay that you're deserved to receive. So let me walk you through some steps that you can do to maintain your security clearance for your next opportunity. Eventually, the time comes for many of us, for all of us, to evaluate our marketability of skills, qualifications, knowledge, skills, and abilities. The experiences that we've gained through working for the military, working in the military. We hope that prospective employers will appreciate our proven talent, leadership, dedication, smart intellect, and valuable training that we've had throughout our service. But unfortunately, many do not. On the other hand, the most valuable tool that is perpetually misunderstood is the qualifications that many of us bring to the table, which is our security clearance. Today, thousands of employers, contractors are in desperate need of cleared individuals, and the federal government is as well. There are a myriad of government agencies and programs that need individuals who have clearances. Qualified job seekers will find they have a tremendous leg up on other candidates because they're cleared, and almost certainly will benefit from salary premium. Unfortunately, many soldiers let their security clearance lapse. They think, I've had enough of government work, I don't want to be associated with the military, I need time, I need a gap year. Unfortunately, when clearances lapse, they're extremely difficult to reactivate. Now, an active clearance is a commodity that must be actively maintained and managed. With the global war on terror in full bloom, yes, it's still there, the creation of the Department of Homeland Security and significant increases in defense spending, and the growing intelligence community, this strong demand has put a significant strain on the Defense Security Services, DSS, the government agency that's responsible for conducting the background checks. It can take anywhere for a new security clearance, anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. That's right, 6 months to 2 years. And that's because of a backlog of more than 500,000 applicants. Unfortunately, for government and civilian employers, it can take between 6 months and 2 years to receive a new clearance, which is completely an unacceptable time frame for many organizations that have significant contracts to fulfill for our war fighters, for our soldiers. These significant contracts need to have cleared individuals, which are trusted individuals, vetted individuals, but the process is very expensive. A government security clearance requires a periodic investigation, a reinvestigation, much like I'm going through. It's 15 years for a confidential clearance, and every 10 years for a secret clearance, and 5 years for a top secret clearance. When a clearance is inactivated because you've switched your jobs or you've left the military, let me say it again, when you leave the military, your security clearance is deactivated. It can be fairly easy within the first 24 months of you switching a job or coming out of the service, as long as you fall within the parameters of the period for reinvestigation. After that, it becomes extremely difficult, and it's no different than if you was a new person that was applying. You have to consider some options to reactivate your security clearance within that 2-year period. So the question is, how do you do that? Well, the easiest way is to get a job that requires a cleared individual, and you being one, to take it. And that's what I say. Get your boots on, get your foot in the door. That foot in the door might not be a top level job, and I gave the example of an SES. No, it might be a GS7 position, it might be a GS5 position, and if you're lucky, maybe it'll be a GS12 position, because that's where many people aspire to in terms of the salary and pay. But if it's not, get your foot in the door and get the job that you're qualified for most immediately. And look at contracting work. There are, I'm saying thousands of contractors out there because there are thousands of contracts out there. But one of the simplest ways to find out the contractors out there is to go on LinkedIn. Put your resume on LinkedIn. Now, I'm not saying I'm not giving anybody the advice to put your security clearance, what level that you have, but state that you are cleared or have a security clearance, so that those contractors can find you and that you can more easily transition into one of their positions which they're seeking readily because they have contracts to fulfill. Or take the route of going through the federal government. And as I said, it's not an easy process, it's a stripping process. And you've already been stripped, you've already did the oath. Why not do it again? But why not reduce your expectations in order to get your foot in the door? That's what this channel is all about. It's trying to show you through a tutorial the steps not only that I took with others in order to get into the federal government, but that I took myself. And I didn't even have a security clearance. And yes, it took 6 months and at least 1 to 2 months that I sat there in a position without a CAT card, without being able to log into the computer because of the backlog. I've experienced it myself, and it is true. So if you're coming out of the service, this message is important to you. Get involved in your career as early as you can. Look on LinkedIn, put your resume on LinkedIn. You're not out to service yet, but you're in LinkedIn so that they can find you. Begin applying for those federal jobs as soon as you can. If you're out of the service, come on back in. Crosswalk your military skills from military to civilian. If you're with me this long, understand I wore this hat, this very hat with pride when I served in the United States Army. And I'm just as proud to be able to serve as a civil servant for the federal government. As I said in many of my other videos, I'm looking for more people like me to work with more people like you so that we can make this country a better place as we did with our boots on. So put your boots back on and let's get to it. Follow the tutorial. It works. Please hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.